Well, the ideal way of doing that is to engage the group in developing an options field of actions. So we have a representation that we put on the wall, and we have the categories, the different dimensions of action in what we call options field. The options are action options, and we display them on the wall, and we have, let's say, 10 categories, and some categories contain 5 options, some 10, some 3, or whatever they are. So with that pattern, we break the group of 20 or 25 into small teams, usually teams of 4 or 5 per team, and we give them the assignment to work as a team iteratively and to make selections from this field of options in each one of the categories and do it iteratively. So the way we tell them to do it is, let's say, select 1 or 2 options that you would like to include in your team's action plan. Select 2 or 2, let's say, from the first, go to the next one, continue this successive selection of options within each category. When you get to the end, to the last dimension, let's say the 10th dimension, go back and do it again, recognizing that you might have many other changes, that some of which you... So they talk about basically how one action enhances another action, or how one action might restrict. They have criteria. They are all very qualitative and judgmental. They are not quantitative necessarily criteria. They might use something like maybe cost or benefit, or I don't know. I mean, they're all sort of, as I said, subjective. There's a sort of a small group discussion, and they generate a representation, a profile, which we call it an action scenario, because they have made decisions of what they want to include and what they want to exclude from this options field. So they have a representation which is connecting some of those options to what we call a tie line at the bottom. So by visually you see what has been selected and what has not been selected. And then we have different teams making those selections of different profiles. And when we engage them in a plenary, when we bring all the teams together, the discussion is to see what are the options that have been selected by more than the majority of the teams, let's say, and some of them are immediately included in the consensus scenario. And again, through successive approximations and deliberations, we converge to a scenario of a consensus scenario that includes, again, those options that have been selected by the majority of the members of the group.